time!
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I got your name. I got your ass.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on! Let's get nuts.
The good thing is doing this podcast has got us watching a lot of movies that, you know, haven't exactly been the Oscar picks, but they've been interesting us. And then we've got the Oscars. We've got everything in between. So, Connor, thank you for letting me host this episode of our Sit Down and Shut Up podcast. It's been interesting doing this recently with the gang, and we haven't done a podcast like this since the first one. So we've been watching quite a lot of content since then, and a lot's been going on. So it'll be interesting recapping some of that down the line. But the main focus here for the episode is, of course, the Oscars. But yeah, just generally want to talk about movies with you, and hopefully we can get some good stuff out of it. So yeah, so welcome to the show, and thank you. So thank me as well.
Thank me, exactly. No, it's great to have you back. And just for anyone curious, we're doing this via Google Hangouts. We've tried a few other things out before, haven't been clear enough. So yeah, bear with us. You know, you'll get used to the quality soon enough. And yeah, we've had a bit of a pause between podcasts the last few while. We've been getting equipment up and going, and yeah, strengthen the format. And as we get in the format here, Declan and myself have been looking through a lot as you're right. Yeah, we want to look at the list of stuff that everyone's gazing on at the minute, but we have just a really weird sense of humor and a really weird film choice at times. So there'll be a couple of different things maybe that you weren't expecting to might come up here today. So Declan, you've got a list of films that you've been run through and sent through to me, and I have a list as well. So I want to hear on your list, what have you got that's going to come up here?
Well, yeah, we kind of wanted to have more or less to be on the same page, but here's the movies that I've caught, and yeah, just going to roll with it. Okay, so I've watched 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. I think that's the name of the title. It's quite a long title.
I think for argument's sake, we'll just refer to it as 3 Billboards. Yep.
Yep. So yeah. So I saw 3 Billboards, I, Tonya. I saw Dunkirk, Shape of Water, Downsizing, Jumanji. I saw Disaster Artist, Star Wars, and the last one on this list seen recently was Split. So some movies from last year and this year to cover here. I've also got a little category here of animated movies. It's just 3 this time. I talk quite a lot about animated movies. So the 3 I've picked here were Coco, Ferdinand, and The Boss Baby. Interesting picks, I know. So we're going to get into that eventually.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Yeah, so those are my movie picks. So Connor, give us your list. What have you got?
Well, we've got a sea. I was going to say an ocean between us, but yeah, most of my list is the same. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to think of the ones that you haven't mentioned here. A few things here. Recently watched is Arrival. I've gone back on a few older films as well, rather than always looked at new stuff. So some of the other ones I would have touched on before would have been things like Johnny Got His Gun, Scary Movie 3, had to be done. Logan, the noir version, I've had it on recently. Gone back over most of the last 2 Jurassic Park films as well, just to get ready for Fallen Kingdom. And Checkmate. No, that's Alan. That's Independence Day. I actually had the same joke with Niall earlier. The same thing came up. We had the same problem. Other than those lists, on the Oscars front as well, covered the same I, Tonya and Shape of Water and 3 Billboards again was a great standout for that. So since there's a few similarities here, we might as well get straight into those. So what was your take on something like 3 Billboards?
Well, I think I was careful with the picks here, not just the ones I've watched, but I actually did enjoy a mixture of them. But I was surprised with some of the content. The direction of these movies. And so for me, the subject matter of murder and rape is very heavily featured in 3 Billboards.
Yeah.
And that, without knowing anything about how this movie was marketed, it is from what I'm told, or from what I'm aware of from watching the movie, it's based on true events, but not knowing how much of is on true events. But anyway, but there's that, and then it's just in general the idea of making a movie like this in the height of a lot of the political landscape. So that is interesting, seeing a movie on its scale. It's no surprise, considering all of that I've just said, that this one is up there on the Oscar picks. That's not me being in any way nasty towards this movie. It's just
No.
something that I wanted to make. It's a point. It's a reference to make there. Just a lot going on. I liked how the overall arc of this story and how it eventually ends on a particular note without spoiling it for anyone. So I don't know. My take on that movie. I'm glad I watched it. It was an Oscar pick this year. It kind of. There's a certain movie that I look forward to watching, and I don't know if it was for me, but I watched it anyway. You know, and I think there's parts of it I could enjoy. I just don't know what to make of it still at this point. So I'm interested to hear what you think of it.
Well, for me, I've had a few people send me links about it for the last few months, and compared to some other films, I didn't really see an awful lot of marketing over here for it, as you had mentioned. So I went in. I honestly thought it was a Coen Brothers film by the presentation, by the tone of it. So I like that. I like the fact is that no one really in any part of it is actually a really good character. As in, when I say good, I mean like they were morally good. So you're sitting there going, you can't really attach yourself to anyone in it straight away. So that's difficult sometimes you're watching it. Other than that, I enjoyed just the blatant humor that was going on in it. Yeah. She comes in and calls Sam Rockwell a fuckhead.
Oh yeah. What about the priest? You know that.
Oh yeah, that.
He's his contradictive attitude about how she should behave and stuff, and then she just throws out the obviousness about the Catholic Church.
True. Yeah, she really does. It was blatant.
Point scored. But no, yeah.
Point
so
scored.
I actually kind of felt the same. You said Coen Brothers. I felt that too going in, and I was expecting a particular, like. Did they do Fargo?
Yeah. With her as a lead and so forth. So there was those kind of similarities. Yeah.
And not anticipating.
Yeah.
It's just, without knowing. And again, it whatever, on however it's based off true events and how much of it we don't know the story. So coming into this movie, not knowing any of that, it was actually kind of good. I could watch it as a movie and separating whatever I would have felt, if I had known anything about these events. So,
well, there's something there that leads into I, Tonya, because there's something that is based off of true events, and
there's something, unfortunately, and here I'm glad you mentioned it because, I didn't know. We grew up in a different time period. We didn't know anything about Tonya Harding, so we don't have a reason to hate the woman. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So coming into the movie, and it's marketed heavily like a Goodfellas movie, and that's something that triggers our interest straight away.
Yeah.
But however, so we're mentioning I, Tonya. I just want to mention briefly there before I jump into that though.
Okay.
3 Billboards has that real life story they're dealing with, and how they handle it over the events in I, Tonya. It just shows you the difference in style and how you can tell a story like that. And for me, it was easier to enjoy I, Tonya. So I just want to move it now into that movie.
Yeah.
I'll let you. I want to know what you think of I, Tonya, because I have a lot to say about it.
Okay, well, it's probably better I go first because I'm usually the negative one on a lot of these things.
Go ahead.
So yeah, straight in with a bit of negativity for you. I wasn't impressed for a lot of reasons because of the reference thing for Goodfellas. So of course, it was held up.
Right. Yes.
But no, for me, because again, now I have to be honest here and admit something really difficult. I am not by any means ice skating fanatic. I have no knowledge of it whatsoever. As shocking as that is, maybe for you to understand, but no. So I went in. I know, an embarrassment to our family. Shunned. So yeah, I went in, and the first 40 minutes or so, we're talking about this one maneuver, the first woman to do this, and everything's hyped up now.
The triple
something.
Fucking hell. Triple back, it's something. I just can't remember. I don't have anything in front of me now.
We'll just call it the triple for now. I don't know what it was. The triple.
Well,
so
she could land a triple, but then she had to land it on the Olympics, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the
But the whole build up to it, I didn't research anything. I didn't know what the move was, and we've seen enough. We watch pro wrestling, we watch other kind of sports things, and any other arts really. So we've seen acrobatic work, we've seen other things going on. So coming into that scene, I've sort of going, right, whatever this move is going to have to be fucking brilliant. Like you've seen the Blades of Glory, and they're doing the mad fucking stuff, and then she does it, and it shows it in slow motion, shows it in different angles, and I wasn't impressed. Now, I can't do it, but fucking hell, it just looked simple. I was like, is that it?
No, actually, I have my opinion on that. I'll tell you what I think.
Okay.
So building up to... So she landed it a couple of times in those competitions,
Yeah.
and then the judges would have scored her badly for it because like they didn't like her image and stuff. And so there's parts of it I enjoyed it. I didn't necessarily come into it thinking, well, this better be a Goodfellas movie. Like,
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying that you're hanging all of that on them.
No.
Don't blame the marketers for that. That's just how they get it.
I'll give it one good thing, which I thought was great because it was something different. I think me and Donal actually mentioned this on one of the recent podcasts, the music ones, that whenever films come out and they put in a particular song by a particular artist, so straight away you get the automatic tune by certain bands, and I fucking hate that. Puts me off. This time round, they had Sleeping Bag by ZZ Top playing whenever she's doing one of the routines, and that I was just like, all right, there we go. That's like someone pulling Escape by Metallica or something and throwing it in. I was like, all right, here we go. Fuck, right, someone's paid attention. So
I'll cater to your audience there.
My audience. Yes, my entire audience. No, I thought we things like that were good because I don't know whether she actually had used that song in routine. I'm not going to do the research. I don't care. If someone wants to type in a comment, let us know if she actually used those songs. Fair enough. I just, for once, I think at the minute, a lot of people are, it can't be just, oh, you have a good movie. You have to have a good soundtrack. You have to have a good trailer. You have to have a good everything. So I think that saved it from me completely hating the film because it had a good soundtrack. So yeah, overall I wasn't too impressed with it, but I'm glad I watched it because I gave it a chance. Where usually she shines through. I can't fucking say that.
No, I know what you mean.
So what do you think?
Well, I actually liked it. I actually really liked it. I'll tell you why I liked it though.
Because you like ice skating.
Yeah, but it's a secret of mine that has now been told.
It's across the bar.
Yeah. Dude. But actually, no, the actual secret about my past is I actually did Irish dancing, not ice skating. Something that I'm going to admit to now before anyone else throws it out there.
That's all right. While you're saying it, I did it too. We all did it.
We all did it.
Yeah.
We were all roped into it. However, some of us achieved more in it, you know.
That's right.
Anyway, so listen, so the I, Tonya thing, in a way, parts of it that I could associate with, of how angry she gets and stuff. So I was just like, I can see exactly where she's coming from. So there's parts of the movie, it cuts back to her at her home and she's explaining why. It's actually probably used in those trailers. Again, here's the thing. I don't watch trailers as much. I'll catch one trailer and go, okay, I'm going to watch, look out for that movie. I'm done. Don't get them anymore. In fact, if a trailer comes on, I'll swipe, whatever it is, I turn my head so I don't, or I block my ears, whatever the fuck. I don't want anything else being spoiled for me. I fucking hate it today. Here, it's coming from someone who fucking loved trailers. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember my obsession with fucking trailers, man? I don't know what it was, guys.
Not even just that. It was making your own trailers. That was the next step.
Making my own trailers, yes. And then so there was a weird thing going on there, but I've completely changed my outlook on it. So here's the thing. When it comes to marketing and stuff, they have to make a trailer look fucking,
bang tidy.
What it is. So yeah, so I get it. So anyway, I didn't see multiple trailers. I saw one trailer and it was enough for me to watch it because, it just did its thing with the music choices and stuff. And I just like the way it was edited and presented to me.
The
I
trailer?
didn't see the what's that?
The trailer?
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm getting off that for a moment. No, so why I liked it, I could sympathize with Tonya Harding, and throughout the whole movie, it looked like she's this villain, even though you find out she's not exactly, and there's reasons why it explains why. And I what I liked about it is it shows at the end of the movie, it shows a split screen comparison of how the real events went down and how they acted it out. And I actually quite like that. I actually nearly forgot about that.
That's a good
I
point.
will reference another movie
Yeah.
with something similar that
Yeah.
I'm going to mention. So I haven't forgotten Connor, right?
No, I just
Is that you should see him. He's just like,
yeah.
not yet. And then, but here, I do want to mention a scene in it that the reasons why I would say go out and watch it or pick it up when it comes out.
Yeah.
There's a scene where it's in the trailer somewhere, but I kind of wasn't expecting to see a good acting performance out of it. I just thought I'd have something that entertained me for a little bit while I'm focused on other stuff. And that's what it did, essentially. But there was a scene in it that I felt, if there's anything from it worth watching, it's for this scene. She is getting ready for her spot in the Olympics, so she's got the she's been chosen on the American side, and she's got all this fucking stress, and you followed her up to this point, and you kind of get it, you understand where she's coming from, and she's finally presenting herself the way she has to, and
Yeah.
all that kind of shit's going in her head. Whatever happened, but it's almost like every little. So what's happening is she's sitting down and getting ready. She's putting her applying makeup, stage makeup for her show.
Yeah. She's going OTT with it.
Yeah, well, I actually kind of liked it because what I was reading off every little thing she was doing, I could see a reason for it.
Yeah.
I knew what she was trying to do, and then it left you with the last impression is, I'm focused on what I'm doing. I'm gonna get gold, and she leaves you with that face like. Is weird facial expressions.
Yeah.
I just think she did a fucking great. It left me as someone who's dabbled in acting and has a passion for it. Left me going, fuck. You know what? Fair play. That was she won me over with that scene. You know what I mean? So I thought I'd mention that. If you do get seeing it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'll throw you over to Connor. What did you think of that?
I didn't mind, and just as you went through that, I just thought another. It's a weird thing to praise it, but you'll understand when you see the film. Is the mum who was she's the principal in 10 Things I Hate About You. Remember the one giving the finger and all the fucking people hitting the window and all? That's her.
Oh, that's okay.
I can't remember can't remember the actor's name, but you just know the crack. Yeah, she was a complete bitch. Obviously, as a mum, and the way she went on in the film, but the way she did it was she was ace. You know what I mean? At times, it's just
people like that going on.
Yeah, we have
seen it, and you're just like, yep, I believe that. Yeah.
But just the worst thing was, even just there was one scene where she's sitting at the kitchen table and she just literally just throws her or kicks her off the chair. But I just laughed out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. So there's
it was already on, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's moments in it. As I said, I liked the way it was jumping back and forth in time periods and stuff. That was kind of cool. So. No, I would recommend people to watch it. Again, because I was suckered in with this whole build-up about this maneuver, and you start thinking in your head, right, what the fuck is this thing going to look like? And then when I actually saw it, I was just, right, fair enough. You know, I mean, I've seen things, like, I don't know, there's other films like Whip It and all had the same kind of reaction where the trailers built it up for this roller derby thing, and you go and watch it, and it's just like, right.
Badly marketed then, that one.
Yeah, the only saving grace with that film, I think, is Daniel Stern. I think it's the only reason I really paid attention to that film. He's the dad in it. He's fucking brilliant. But yeah, actually, you'd brought up an example there that it's a nice way to move into another film that's we've both covered here, which was The Disaster Artist.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but most of us, I'm sure, are aware of it or have seen it by now, which is The Room. And I saw the trailers coming out for this thing, and I thought, here we go, it's just going to be the same jokes from the trailer. It's basically going to be like a shot-for-shot remake, and nope, for once, very, very glad to be wrong. Really, really enjoyed it. And
I actually enjoyed it, yeah.
Fucked. It's just... It made me want to go back and rewatch it, but I'm glad it didn't because of that split screen thing at the end. That satisfied me enough.
Not for me, though. I want to watch it after saying it.
Well, I still think my favourite part of the whole film is at the end when the crew and the cast, everyone's together and they're all actually sitting and watching, just bawling out laughing as if to go, so that's why we had to do for like 14 that's what it all came down to. It's just, that was funny to actually watch.
Not true. I did not hit her.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I know, it's just, look, again, I'm sure there's plenty of podcasts that have been dedicated just to this particular film and The Room as well, so we don't want to really dive too much into this one. It is very enjoyable to watch. It's not as cringy as you think. It's just like that scene at the start where he just comes in and does the audition, and he just fucking he thinks he's nailed it, and he just walks out the room thinking he's Jim Morrison the whole way through it. It's just
Man, it was brilliant. Oh fuck! Do you know what? They actually did get me looking forward to watching it because we got exposed to what the room was from the Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah.
When he put his like I was in uni at that time, and I remember it came out, and me, Niall, Messy Doodle on our show here,
Yeah.
and a couple other people at uni, Cormac as well. I'm trying to think of people who all Jenny and all.
Yeah.
Everyone sat down and was first of all could hear us fucking laughing, and people from upstairs in the hall could hear us laughing. I came downstairs to see what the fuck we were laughing at.
yeah.
And sat in with us for a little bit. Didn't understand some of it. And they were like, whatever, you fucking weirdos. Some of them sat in and watched it. And we kept watching it, the review. And then we watched the movie in fucking shock and fucking in awe as well. Because it was awesome.
Yeah.
How someone can make a movie like that. To make it that intentional or unintentional. And you know what? The movie actually did a good fucking job of giving us the insight. Because we had plenty of questions after watching the critics review.
Yeah.
He raised a lot of good questions, which I felt that the movie almost took his review and goes, right, we need to mention that.
That's
You
very
feel that
true.
watching the movie, yeah.
Between that and the Everything Wrong With series, they did one on The Room, and like they counted how many times they were throwing footballs and everything. They went precise, so there was wee digs to that in it, which was pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely think so. Especially Seth Rogen's character seemed to be that kind of voice of the crowd, kind of just like, why the fuck? Like there was always a why the fuck question coming out of him. So I think he took on that role. So that was cool.
You see like fucking stuff like, I buy. Wait,
no, you rent it. Yeah.
Equipment, I buy everything. Whatever the fuck he says. You're
HD
just like,
and
I
film.
Believe that.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck is being presented to me here.
Yeah.
I fucking believe it. Oh man, who's the guy who plays Johnny? Not Johnny. What do you call him? Fucking it is Johnny. Yeah. Tommy.
Tommy, who plays Tommy, is just the Franco brothers that did James Franco, and then Dave Franco's the brother. Yeah.
See, watching it now, again, there's another movie. I saw the trailer for it, and I thought, like, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. I don't know. It fucked my head up because I was like, why make a movie on The Room? You give it too much credibility.
Yes.
I had this weird opinion on it. It was like, what a horrible movie. How the fuck did that movie get made?
Yeah.
And then it's ridiculously funny as well. And like, I just didn't know if this guy was really fucked up in the head or was he doing it for laughs. And the movie actually fucking goes through all that. There's parts of it that it raises questions. Like, is this guy? It just shows him how reckless he was at making the movie, right? Stuff like that comes up, which I never fucking knew about. So
True.
I was really surprised. What do you learn from the movie from watching Disaster Artist?
I just learned something that if you watched how other people react of him, of just looking at him or even the way he talks, like your guy's mum, whenever he's getting in the car and he's driving off and he's sitting there, the mum's trying to convince him not to go in the car with Tommy the whole time. And he's just sitting there fucking slacking away at her, just looking like he's going to do the worst things ever with her daughter, with her son. It's just so fucking funny. When you watch people's reactions of him the whole way through it. Baby face. Fucking...
What do you do?
Yeah, that's
like
right.
100 fucking questions.
Seven. What he said, he was like 23 or something. Say something ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no! It's from things like like let's go to Los Angeles. Like do you have a place? Yeah, I have place.
I have place.
Whatever fuck he says. I don't know what he says, but like it just looked like James Franco had a fucking ball. Like he had a good laugh making this movie and playing that character. Scene. And here, did you get now? Have you seen The Room itself? Have you actually seen the movie?
I've seen it, I think, twice now. I don't need to see it anymore. It's one of those films.
You see the part where they actually get in Disaster Artist when they get the cast together for the first time. You're like, oh fuck, there's things.
Yeah.
You start seeing, oh my god, it's just like that. This is so
the mugging
scene
and
bizarre experience. And here's my advice: anyone listening and wants to watch Disaster Artist, fucking watch The Room first.
Or even just watch the Nostalgia Critic thing. Yeah.
Watch the critics review. Sorry, I should have said that first because that's my exposure to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Watch the critics review. if you want to watch the movie, take his advice. Please watch the movie, and then watch Disaster Artist in that order.
Yes.
And you can't go wrong. And I think you'll have an experience because what I learned from Disaster Artist, I didn't. Now there were things mentioned about the room's success or notable success, like whatever way you want to measure it. There is a fan base out there for it, believably. Do you know what I mean? Before Disaster Artist, so these are the things that shocked me. Not even making this movie on the events, just the idea that people loved the movie so much. So I need to watch the movie again because I need to get a better opinion on it because it's been so long. Do you know what I mean?
It might be
watching the
fresh.
movie-
Yeah.
Yeah, but watching the movie was fucking really interesting. Like I laughed throughout it, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And was disturbed by certain moments.
Yeah.
It was just interesting. It was just like, actually, fuck, I want to follow up. So I haven't had a movie do something like that for me in a long time, you know. So yeah, interesting fucking pick this year.
Well, it was do you know what, exactly that. It was just something different, and I think that's what we've been looking out for a while. You can tell, especially by trailers and all that, that okay, there's certain formula, there's only a certain amount of stories really that are original anymore. So I think picking that one off our list and a few others, like there's one that just jumps out this year that I think everyone's been looking at, which is The Shape of Water, for many reasons like that. For it seems to be a breath of fresh air, but it's familiar as well at one side because of Del Toro's work.
Yeah.
But you knew going in, I was just confused for one major thing that a lot of people was not as a fanboy, and I'm far from it from any of that shit, but the whole notion that it's basically a prequel for Hellboy because of the Abe kind of character.
Right, thank you
Yes.
for fucking saying. Hold on, is it? Give me some clarity on that.
I've
It's
had
not. No, I didn't think it
No.
was. There was a little part of me going, "Is this?" No, it's not.
There's a lot of
And-
similarities, but they're mainly character traits at this point. There's no real specifics on it, and a lot of people are, because of timelines and all that kind of stuff. I think it's
Well,
yeah, I
it's
think
just
it's
maybe sparked even my own interest because of the time period, and you're thinking, "Oh, is it possible that this is the?" So
Yeah.
yeah, that distracted me a little bit.
Yeah.
That's just by my mistake. So
yeah.
um,
I think anyone familiar with his work, really familiar with his work, would be distracted. I think that's the only negative thing I have about the film. Whereas there's other things in the film that I'm more noted. Whereas was halfway through it, I kept getting this tone. I kept going, it just feels like Amelie, depending on how people pronounce it.
yeah.
Very similar vibe to that.
Those close-ups, the music, and I don't know
The
what
quirkiness of it, really.
scene.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I've read,
There's definitely feel from it. Yeah.
definitely. Well, up online, those are the two things that seem to come up the most, which is the Hellboy prequel thing and the Amelie, and a few other films that basically people are claiming that have been homaged or ripped off, really. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but again, you want to summon the poster, you want to get people's attention. You put a
Of course you do. You're going to
yeah.
get it from somewhere anyway. That's the thing I think people forget sometimes. You're going to get your inspirations from stories that you like.
Yeah.
Of course you like them, so you want to make things like that. That's where your interests come from. It's going to come out in your work somehow. And whether that be accidental or not. In fact, you should feel happy about those things. That it is very difficult to stand out and be unique.
True.
And those words are difficult when you put it in art forms because almost at this stage of civilization, we've pretty much fucking done it all.
Yeah.
Until, revolutionary things come about, we can start fresh, in that sense. But no, things can't really always be fucking original to the point where, like, oh, I've seen this 1,000 times. Well, you're going to see familiar traits, At least that's where I come from when I start defending certain movies. I think because also you do as well. We've got a huge appreciation to the work that is involved in putting anything together. But yeah, here's my problem with Shape of Water. I think I didn't give it a fair shot. I think I need to sit down and watch that movie properly. I was just heavily distracted trying to watch it. I think that's because I wanted to enjoy it, but I was distracted a little bit from the likes of Michael Shannon. He does a great performance.
Chewed the fucking scenery.
Yeah, it was just he's great and everything, but there were certain things that didn't make sense for me. It was just like stuff that him being fucking no, sorry, I get mixed up with another movie. But yeah, he suffered a severe fucking wound to his fucking abdomen, somewhere in the movie, and I thought, oh, he's fucking gonna die now. That's him dead. But no, he fucking lives on. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Remember the scene I'm talking about? He walks out, and the cleaners see him, and it's like, oh, I thought he was gonna fucking fall to the floor and die. That's him dead. Whatever happened to him, but I don't know. I wasn't looking properly, but you could probably tell me more.
No, you're right. Actually, I kind of like the way. I don't know if you. I'm sure you did catch on that most people did when they were watching it. That I like the kind of way. Right, you're watching something that's far fetched, right? You have to obviously put a load of shit aside to enjoy the film, right? But the way they presented things was cool. That you're going through this whole story that they're in this military facility, but you're not really seeing it. They're kind of like skimming the camera past everything.
I like that.
Like shit's going on in the background. So these are the people that clean up all the mess after the big firefights and all. I think that was.
I actually loved that concept.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. I actually mentioned it. Yeah.
So I like the way it was different because you're already dealing with something quirky, but the way you address it is the important way. So something that's really over the top. Like you think of like Beauty and the Beast. You have to do this whole facade of the big house and all this mad shit. You really have to look at all this, really look at the environment of it. Whereas you're looking at someone that's in a fucking fishbowl, basically, through most of the film. So
what's going to get your attention more? I think the fucking fishbowl will kind of get your going, what the fuck am I? At least it'll get your interest.
Also, one thing in particular, I definitely have to praise it for. Well, right, the two main people in the film don't talk. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's
Yes,
how you can.
I came to that assumption. The second interaction between her and I don't know what the name of this monster or beast is.
We'll just have to name of something.
The Beast.
The Beast, right? The Beast.
We're not using the Beast, are we?
Yeah, we are. So the Beast is sitting there eating away on eggs and stuff and all, just chilling out in the background.
Eggs.
Most of the boiled eggs, most of the time.
It's fucking because my routine in the mornings is boiling eggs.
Oh,
and that scene was like, what the fuck am I watching? Oh, right, okay, right, okay.
No.
Hey, you'll see it when you watch it. So you're like, all
right. I would tell people, especially because now that it's prevailed mostly on the Oscar scene and stuff at the minute, and you know, fair play, it was visually interesting to watch. You know, you're not going to really get bored watching it. And again, like as I said, Michael Shannon chews the fucking scenery most of the time in it, and even I can't remember the assistant cleaner just doing most of the sign language for her and stuff. She's really good. But I would definitely. There's a couple that I would definitely say out of the list so far because we could I, Tonya, 3 Billboards and Shape of Water, definitely out of that top list from the Oscars. Those 3 I would definitely recommend if you haven't already to check those out.
Out of those 3, I would definitely recommend. I think I don't know in which order. I definitely recommend I, Tonya. I liked Shape of Water, and I did like 3 Billboards. But I think for me, I was looking for something different, a different kind of movie. But I tell you what, though, Shape of Water is actually quite close now that I'm thinking about it. I actually do appreciate more of it. Just simple things like you'd mentioned that idea of it's about these. There's a movie within the movie going on you're not seeing, which I did want to say there. I thoroughly enjoyed that because again, how are you going to make your movie stand out from others? You're going to do stuff like that. But then again, the idea of using monsters, that time period, the choice of music, everything had like a little charm to it and something that like I was learning more as I was watching. I think I was appreciating our technology, how easy things are to communicate, and then watching like their relationship play out where they don't speak. It was an interesting point you made.
Well, I would definitely have to say one more thing positive about the film before we move on to anything else is Richard Jenkins in that role of the like her neighbour, the old guy with the glasses, stuff that was happening. Fucking stole. I still think he stole the show more than anything.
Actually, with parts where his character, you don't know what to think of him as you're watching it because you wonder if he's really supportive of our main character, protagonist, and the protagonist, and you wonder if he's at any moment gonna just fucking bail out on her and like report her or. You get that sense of it. So it only takes him one scene to come back. He has an experience, and then he comes back and has a think, and he's just like, you know what? I'm going to help you find the one that you want.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's the one in the cafe with the... I think the scene in particular was when he's in the cafe and he's talking to the guy who works there, and they're chatting away, have the crack.
He makes a move on him, and he's like, what are you doing? And then he's like, I just thought that was okay. He's like, no, it's not. You're going to have to leave. And then he goes home, and he's like, you know, I'm going to help you find the one that you want because you know I can't find the one that I want. Stuff, simple things like that. Like
poignant,
I think I know what you mean by that. There's stuff that I took away from maybe later on after we're going. There's some poignant things there that actually made me think a little bit about like simple things you can do to help each other. You know, even if you really don't want to,
True.
you make yourself feel happy by doing something that's good. You know what I mean? You'll feel happy. That's the kind of sense I got from it. You know, good values there. You know, from that movie.
Well, I thought he was gonna. It was for me in particular. The only real Oscars nomination I was really looking forward to was the supporting actor, because you had Sam Rockwell going up against Richard Jenkins. Yeah, just gonna make sure I get the name right. Yeah. So that was Three Billboards going against Shape of Water, and both.
Great,
right.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell walked away with it.
They both went up against each other.
Yeah. So that was up. That was in the Oscars for the nomination. So both those films were against each other at that. So either outcome I was happy with, but to be honest, I'm more happy with the Rockwell coming out on top of that. So most of the films here we've been watching has been preparation for the Oscars. There's some we have watched, but to be honest, some of them I watched in prep for the Oscars I wouldn't really be bothered to talk about at this point. Those three in particular that we did cover are the essentials ones I thought out of the list. So I think
I
now
agree there.
you've got the animated ones I'm interested to hear here. That's what I want to hear now. What have you got for these?
Before I move on though, I'm just wondering if there's any other movies. Right, okay. Well, there is one that came out, I think it came out in January or February. I'm just not tired. I think it was January. Anyway, doesn't fucking matter. What matters is you go and watch it once at least. I don't think I'll be watching this one anytime soon. But go out and watch Downsizing. If you guys saw that trailer, the Matt Damon movie.
Christopher Waltz as well, isn't it?
Christopher Waltz. Remind me who that guy is.
Inglourious Bastards, Django Unchained, and always does like a German swarthy.
Yes. Oh, he's good. Yeah.
I love him.
This like eccentric character.
He always
quite
does.
Rich in that one. Oh well, I'll tell you what. Just thinking now about the other man. It's an experience movie. You probably won't want to watch it again for a very long time, or you want to watch it with someone who hasn't seen it. You're like, yeah, I'll watch it with you, maybe. But at least you go out and watch it by yourself. You know what I mean? You go and watch it, and then we'll talk about it. But it's the concept about shrinking yourself or filming or making a movie where you're playing around with scale and stuff. That's not exactly brand new. We've seen movies like Borrowers and stuff, or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Indian in the Cupboard. No movies.
Indian in the Cupboard. What a fucking film!
There's the B movie thrown in there. It doesn't matter. We're all throwing out all sorts here.
Oh my god! I was like, can we just take a moment to recognize that fucking film for a moment here? Hold on a second. That who the fuck? Do you know? It's one of those kind of films I never saw a trailer for it when I was younger. It just arrived.
It's in the cupboard. Rated PG-13.
I still think one of the coolest scenes was I think he had like toys. He had like a Darth Vader in it. He had like a T-Rex.
He had a T-Rex. He had fucking all the toys we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly enough, we didn't. Just remember this predates Toy Story as well. Of toys coming to life. I think.
But you know what actually predates Toy Story? That idea of the toys coming to life. Raggedy Ann and Andy animated movie. It is fucked
okay.
up.
Well, hold on a second.
Trippy movie. Like
it's the sentence of saying the Indian in the cupboard. It's just
Raggedy Ann and Andy. It's the next thing we're going to talk about.
No. I'm still lingering on the Indian in the cupboard here. It's one of those kind of films you forget exists, and then when it comes back in your head, you're like, holy fuck! I remember.
Well, put a pin on that because don't forget about this movie that just came out in January. My
attention span's gone out the window now just thinking that.
Well, you can have a little fucking nosy to see if you can find that online or something. But just before we move on, I do want to mention it because it's one of those movies that did fucking just went past us. What was that? Oh, whatever.
The wind.
It's all right. I will watch it. I'm gonna watch it with Pippa one of these nights. She hasn't seen it yet. I think she wants to watch it. But yeah, fucking weird, right? So the idea isn't exactly new, right? But this particular premise of it's more like an environmental message throughout the movie, right? And in ways I like and don't like. However,
Downsizing.
At the end, yeah,
right. I was wondering.
At the end of the movie, there's a reason. It's mentioned. There's a particular message that's said a couple of times throughout the movie. You hear it and you go, "All right, okay, yeah, get it." It means more later on, and then it hits you with the environmental thing. And you're like, you take on this huge weight. It's weird. There's a scene where it's very quiet. They're on a boat somewhere, and there's a particular dialogue exchange with the guy who like started it all off. Man, it's weird. It's just like so. Now I'm talking about at this stage in the movie that Matt Damon is shrunk down and he's living in this smaller scale world, and then the shit that's happening in the world, what we call the real world, in our world, up there, right? Shit's happening, and then that starts to become a focus in the movie itself. So it's strange, man. It's hard to I don't know how you would classify this movie. Of course, there's a lot of there's dark humor, right? I don't know how I don't know exactly how you would label it. I'm sure it's up there somewhere, but it's also a environmental kind of movie. It makes you think a little bit. There's some good humor in there, but while I was watching the movie, there's certain things that to play around with, obviously with scale. So imagine you down to a fucking tenth or whatever proportion of yourself, so small that you see the world so fucking differently. After a while, you get a bit nauseous watching it. You're like, fucking, like the idea of being that fucking small starts wrecking your head when you're watching the movie.
Ooh.
So, but here's the other thing: there were so many fucking ideas there that they did not follow through with. That could have made the movie more interesting or exciting, but they're not going for action elements necessarily. They're going to use it as like a plot device to get where they're going. But essentially, it's like a dark humor, rom-com, fucking weird sci-fi elements. That all together sounds weird. I don't even think I'm justifying the movie itself because there's a lot of elements in it, but heavily there's that political environmental message. I'll tell you what though, actually thinking about it now, there's even activists in it. There's weird humanitarian stuff. In ways, it's just fucking. It deals with all of that. You know what I mean? It's just all wrapped up. So, at least watch it once, because you'll be at least grateful you've seen it.
Okay, well, I think pretty sold on that. Again, usually once I see someone like Christopher Waltz in a film, I'm sold 100%.
But he's great actually in that. So if anyone's familiar with his work, I knew him when I was watching. I was like, I know that guy. Don't know his name.
Yeah.
I know him.
But
you know he's fucking really good. Yeah.
You know when you see a certain kind of actor coming in, you know, right? Okay, this isn't going to be bullshit. He's not going to let me fuck it down. He's going to pick a good script. It's like when Nolan comes out with a film, you're just straight away, you know what it's going to look like. You have an idea who's going to be in it. And again, so there's a way for us getting into Dunkirk, because there's something we didn't mention. So go ahead. What do you think?
Well, I don't actually know your opinion on it, so this would be interesting. So, right. Yeah, anyone who knows me, I'm a big fucking Batman freak, fanatic. I love a lot of the director's take on the character, and I love Christopher Nolan's trilogy, and I don't know where I rest in which version of it is my favorite. So, and that's saying something. So I could have easily picked Tim Burton or could have went elsewhere. So, Chris Nolan is always, for me, making fucking great movies. I just wasn't exactly
blown away.
I don't know how. Well, I just don't want to give the wrong.
Yep.
Because this movie is fucking great at depicting that fucking scenario in World War II. I just don't know how much I can fucking say for exactly where it levels up. What I enjoy in a Chris Nolan or an action movie, right? So it's not an action movie. It's more or less based on true events. It's a real life fucking depiction of history. So, in that sense, it does a fucking amazing job at that. So far, it's even getting the right kind of. I'm sure, without even knowing it, he went out and got the real fucking stuff, or at least replicated to such a degree that it's there's no fucking difference.
Oh yeah, there's no issue there. I think it's all authentic as you say it. But I think you're right. I think just when he's got such a body of work, and us in particular at Red Acre here, I mean, he's on everyone's list with top directors and examples of films like fucking even as far back as Insomnia and Memento and The Prestige and Interstellar in particular. I probably mentioned it already, but fucking Interstellar in particular. Again, you've gone to see the Hans Zimmer showed mainly for a lot of the films mentioned on that list there. So we're already invested, like most people going in to see this. Now, it's not a knock on the performance of the people. It's more realistic with younger people in it, like it would be in War.
And that was great too, by the way. I like that.
That was actually great. And I didn't know who the wee guy was. I know his name, but I didn't know what he looked like, so I wasn't distracted going, is that him? No, well, actually, no. For once, I wasn't going, is that him? Is that him? I just had no idea who he was. I checked at the end. It's like, all right, he didn't really do anything to distract me. You know, the Harry Styles guy.
Yeah,
Apparently, a lot of people were worried about that for some reason. But why would you be worried with Nolan?
No, I wasn't.
You know what I mean?
No,
At
no,
all.
Well, I tell you,
I just think it didn't live up, I think, to what everyone was hoping for in it.
in a
And
Chris Nolan
Yes.
experience movie,
Yeah.
yes, and I think it's no detriment to him at all.
No.
No. I tell you what, like I really liked it, but I just didn't love it. And again, there's me coming into the film differently.
Yeah.
But I can also say as well, I'll not be watching it soon because it was quite heavy in telling. You know, you're dealing with fucking real shit that's hard still in this part of the world. You know, to
It's
just pass over.
true.
It's something that if you're going to sit down and watch it, you have to give it the utmost respect. You have to really be on board with it and really kind of like. Yes, these are.
It's more of a history buffs
It
movie, to be
really is.
honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it affects us more in this side of the world, and yeah. So, as we've said, we like his body of work. So I'm a huge fucking fan of Interstellar. So is Connor.
Oh yeah.
I love the Batman movies. I love Insomnia. I love Al Pacino's performance. In that
Oh,
one.
and Robin
So
Williams
much
in
to go back
particular.
to.
Yeah.
I would just love to talk about Chris Nolan's movies. So,
We'll put a pin in it for another one then.
can we- yeah,
Indian
I
in the
wanna- I
Cupboard
wanna go
and
too much.
Christopher Nolan.
I really want to watch it again, but
Yeah.
there's not much I wanted to bring forward here on the podcast
About Dunkirk.
about Dunkirk. All
Yeah,
I just
same.
wanted to say was that I have seen it.
Yeah.
I liked what the story that they told.
Yep.
I came in with certain expectations to want a Chris Nolan experience.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to his future projects. I always will be. Yeah, so Dunkirk, I'm gonna have to watch it again to maybe get more from it to bring on the podcast.
I would have to say one thing in particular. I'd have to admire him for the fact is that he's willing to spend long on these films, get a great cast, because you had people like Kenneth Branagh is fucking probably the best actor in that whole film, to be honest, up there with Tom Hardy in it. You had
I forgot.
great,
Kenneth
yeah,
Branagh was in it for a moment. He was guys. He
Yeah.
was fantastic.
fucking
Can I
fantastic.
can I
But
just jump
yeah,
in here 'cause
go
I'm
ahead.
feeling that scene. Right. So, what I didn't understand was, so do you know why Chris Nolan would usually have a sound cue? There's some shit's about to happen. I think for me, I was expecting a certain scene to unfold.
Mhm.
It didn't necessarily, even though the heightened scene
Yeah.
with that music was getting me so heavily invested. Oh my god, something's gonna happen. Something really cool is gonna happen. It didn't, right?
Mhm.
But fucking the acting was immense. The acting from Kenneth Branagh when he's is it the scene where he is watching them all fucking die? Isn't it? There's like
Yeah,
the
he's
ship is being
Yep.
bombed. He's essentially on
on the pier or something. Yeah.
on the pier. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's with the other admirals or soldiers. And he's watching the fucking essentially watching the thing sink and them drowning, and there's not really much he can do. Then you see the other main characters who are underneath, who are trying to sneak on board, and you see
Yeah.
them seeing essentially their brothers in the fucking water below, and there's a lot of stuff that they tell throughout the movie that I'm watching and going, this is really fucked up because this is real. This had happened.
Yeah.
It's hard to take yourself out of that and enjoy it as an action movie or an eventful movie.
Mhm. No, you're right.
So
I think that's what it was.
torn. I think I was torn
Yeah.
in the movie. I was going, I can't wait to see some really cool shit, but
Yeah.
this is fucked up.
No, I have to admire him for putting everything together at such detail, and because you can tell this is something that he wanted to do himself. It didn't seem like a studio film that was
Very
that was
ambitious,
made.
yeah.
You can tell that with some of his films that it's more like he wants to do this. He's got the money. He's going to present it well, and seem more of like a pet project for him. So fair play, I would say that. But I want to see. I mean, there you go. Where do you go after something like Interstellar? Where do you go after something like Inception and the Batman trilogy? You obviously have to go somewhere a wee bit different. Like, he's not going to do a romantic comedy, for fuck's sakes, by any
Well, I'll
means.
tell you what, if you actually think of the scales that he went to in order to tell a story, yeah, you need you need to tone it down a little bit in order to like successfully tell stories to get people invested to come back.
Well, this
Maybe
happens.
put it into
Yeah.
Michael Bay, you know.
Well, this happens with most people, whether it's directors or even people here that do podcasts stuff. Eventually, you don't want to be foul of repeating yourself. But yet
Well,
again,
you
you,
become
yeah,
saturated in a way. Of
Yeah.
course you do. Yeah, I think that's because we get so like hung up on what we think works, and then you figure out no, that actually doesn't do anything. You need to.
But,
engage
yeah.
more thoughts here, you know. So
well,
yeah.
I just admire when someone has actually, you can tell it's their project. They're putting everything into it, and the scene we've got. You can tell straight away that people knew it wasn't going to be a failure. People were invested in it. People joined in without really any question. Us as audience didn't really question much. We knew we were going to watch it. We just so straight away it's one of those kind of films. What I'm saying is that to get the initial watch out of you, it's just getting you to go back and rewatch it. I mean, whereas there's other films, how many times have you seen Inception? How many times have you seen Insomnia? Or
Yeah. Are you gonna buy the DVD when it comes out?
yeah,
Follow everything over again.
it's one of those things though. I will say I will get the DVD because I would love to see the behind the scenes and that kind of thing.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it will. Yeah.
I think that's a good way to cover and David Duncan. At least we took the time to rather than just say yeah we did watch it. We want to acknowledge it. It's very tough when you realise there's so many other examples there of films recently that have been a bit more poignant and different.
Yeah.
And I think he took a risk with this one, and right financially it's paid off for him. He's not going to suffer the box office. It was marketed well over, as you said, definitely over here in the UK and Ireland. It's more a homegrown kind of subject, so of course it's a wee bit different. We've grown up learning about Dunkirk and other things, so we didn't really have to do any research coming into watching the film. We just needed to know how is Christopher Nolan going to present this story to us that we've heard several other times. So
Yeah.
I would say it's a success, but it's just not a memorable success for Christopher Nolan. That's all I can really say for this point. But interesting to see where he goes from now, whether there's going to be more sci-fi, whether there's going to be more, I don't know. See where he goes from. I can't see him failing at this point. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to say he's got the Midas touch either. I mean, that's all I can
wouldn't
say.
either. Just because I didn't like it in the same way I liked other movies he's made. It's
Yeah.
just, you can tell he put a lot of his own shit in that.
It's
and
like-
he wanted.
It's like when a band puts out a different kind of album. It's the same band
He
kind of
wasn't
thing.
playing
That's all
up
I'm
to
thinking.
His audience. I don't
Yes.
think I think that's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I was getting. That's the only other way I can say it is like when a band puts out something a wee bit different, it's still in their catalogue. It's like, say, Foo Fighters, something goes out and makes that double album where it's one part rock, one part acoustic, kind of different vibes. You're sitting there going, okay, it's still them, but there's these other things now that are a wee bit different. I have to look into.
Goes out into the fucking
Into the wilderness,
stuff,
yeah.
picking up all these different instruments. Like it's
Yeah.
still plant, but it's all pew, pew, pew,
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Christopher Nolan's just gone a bit pew, pew, pew. That's all we can say at this point.
Oh, but at this point in the podcast, I'm going to throw in these animated movies that I've watched recently that actually, do you know what? There's some good moments here that surprised me, and I'm going to throw out the first one here. That's I didn't know John Cena did a fucking animated voice for any character recently.
I knew he was going to be in this one, but I never watched. I didn't think it was out that soon. I thought they were only
But I
starting
had
to
no
record
idea,
it.
right, until I
Okay.
was about to watch the movie. I was like, John Cena's in it.
Da, da, da. Wabadoo. So what the fuck?
Wabadoo.
Yeah, Wabadoo.
He does a good job actually, and
He's
actually,
here. He's funny as
right-
fuck in Daddy's Home and stuff. I watched that
he's
not too long
okay.
ago.
I actually did I didn't put on the list, but I did watch Daddy's Home too. People fucking hated it. thought
It
it was
was
okay.
it wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still
No,
funny.
but it was okay. Like it was, I actually laughed at that scene where they're in the hallway, fucking changing the thermostat.
Yeah.
I was laughing because that's exactly how we would.
Yeah.
Most meals, I know I would.
Oh, God, yeah.
Don't you fucking turn that up.
Yeah.
Go back to your bed. Turn that down. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And she came out and turned it up again. I was laughing. I was like, "You cheeky wee bitch."
Yeah.
But no, John Cena is funny in that. It just wasn't amazing in it. But I think he did a better job in this one. I honestly came out of the movie liking John Cena more, just because he told a great story.
The 16-time champ.
16-time champ did it for me in Ferdinand. Swear to God.
It took 16 championship wins, didn't do nothing, and then you just see this animated film and you're won over.
Dude, tell me, it's just how they did it.
Well, look.
So I'm just trying to explain it.
As an actor and as a performer, he is charismatic, so I'm sure that came through in an animated show. Rather, you were distracted
It
looking
did
at him.
Because, well, it did because this character. He's not a fighter. He's a bull. He's in a bullfighter's world. It's that story. So he has to fight the bullfighter. But this little Ferdinand, this fucking bull, does not want to fight at all. It's not
Is
his
this like
personality.
is this like the Steven Seagal thing? I've been to war. I've come home to build my house kind of shit, or is it just pacifist?
I will not fight you.
Yeah, I will not fight you. And then he fights him 2 seconds later. Yeah, so, what you say? Yeah,
Yeah, fighting penguin and all. No,
that's right.
what was that?
No,
Family Guy?
it's Family Guy beating up the sea lions and shit. Yeah,
Okay. No, no. Honestly, give it a watch, guys, because I wouldn't have seen it otherwise if I didn't know John Cena was in it. Because I was it just piqued an interest. I'm gonna watch it just so I can say I've seen it.
yeah.
But I actually liked it. You know what I mean? So watch it for that. And I won't give away too much. It's just a nice little film. But I'll say more about Coco. Have you heard anything about this movie?
No, for one reason is because our niece and nephews refer to me as Coco, so I've been put off the film.
Right,
Yeah.
That's right. They do.
Uncle Coco, because I can't say Connor. So
That's right.
yeah, so
Okay,
I am Coco.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's funny.
so I was put off it because I was sitting there going like, nah, I'll just
Don't
be
put it off,
laughing.
No, that's funny. No,
Apparently it's
reasons
supposed to
why-
be really good, especially the music and
It
everything in
is.
it. Yeah,
It is good. I'm telling you now, right? There's
run me through it.
okay, right. I've recently started watching Disney movies and stuff because Pippa, my girlfriend, she is obsessed with Disney movies. She fucking loves them, and I've recently started to get back into it and realized what I liked growing up. You know, there's stuff from Pixar movies that really hit. Monsters Inc., Toy Story. Those were the movies I particularly liked as I was growing up. But again, you grow out of it. You know what I mean? You're not into it. You know what I mean? You never really were as a young. When I was a kid growing up, I didn't really particularly gravitate towards Disney movies. Yes, they were on, and growing up with 4 sisters, they had their favorite picks, and so you appreciate, you have a certain appreciation for it without really following it or being a fan of it. So, as I've started to watch some of the old classics again, I started to get back into Disney again. So, and I've been to Disneyland Paris. I'll be going back again now soon. So I'm now more or less kind of a Disney follower. I'll be intrigued to see some of these animated movies because they do a good job of. There's a formula that Disney has when they're telling these stories, and so this one, the reason why I suggest you watch it is it hits a note with everyone. Everyone has a family member that's passed away, whether it be an elder relative or somewhere in their family. This movie deals with the festival Day of the Dead.
Cinco de Mayo, or yeah.
Yeah, it's weird when you see, so every family would put in their culture in Mexico, they would put up a picture of someone in their family up on this somewhere on like a little altar or wherever they put it, and so in the afterworld you see, it's so funny how they do it. They do it so well, very tastefully done. You see. So in the culture, in the Day of the Dead, you see the skeleton, you see that skull a lot.
Yeah.
So the characters are all skeletons, and you get over that very quickly. You see that. It's really
Okay.
but for a moment, and then you go, that's actually quite. They do it so well, and you see them passing from that world over to our world. They do that so well, and they so I don't want to give away too much, but.
Okay.
So to play around with that idea, it comes across quite well. And you got the main character who isn't allowed to play music because of their family, and their family had problems to do with music, and so no, you're not allowed to play music. It's a stupid idea, and you see why. It's funny, and there's something in everyone's family history somewhere that steers us away from doing a certain thing, I suppose. But like in this particular family, they fucking don't want anyone doing music at all. So, and you understand why throughout the movie.
It's like Footloose or something.
Yeah, so there's a reference, there's something like that. So
Okay.
I'd say to watch it. There's some good comedy in it. The music's fucking great.
I've heard
Some great acoustic music in there. Anyone likes
the flamenco
that
guitar and shit, is it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, fucking brilliant.
Tidy.
But no, it's enjoyable to watch. Visually, a great movie, and I just like the plot in it. I just like how, yeah, you're watching it going, okay, I can kind of see Actually, there's the thing. I was guessing a lot. Oh, they're going to go here. They're going to go there. Oh no, they actually didn't. Oh, they did. Oh, they're going somewhere else. So you're going to find those Disney uh, what would you call it? Beats.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
you'll
yes, yes,
see
yes.
that happening, but then you'll think you're going somewhere, and they're going to throw you somewhere else. So I like that. So yeah, it's hard to surprise you. So I don't want to say too much else about it. It's just I thoroughly enjoyed it. Came out of it, hoping other people watch it. So I'm definitely putting it on the list for this podcast. If you haven't watched it, I advise you watch it. Try and watch it with a group of people if you can. So you just have something to talk about. But yeah, you can definitely watch it on your own. I think it's better to share that with someone. So I watched it with Peppa. We fucking both loved it.
So between Ferdinand and Coco, which one would you say the most?
They're equally good. It's just Coco has got a lot more going for it.
Okay.
Oh, also, while we're talking about animated movies, this one came out sometime last year. It's called The Boss Baby. I thought it was just Boss Baby.
Is this the Alec Baldwin
Boss
thing?
Baby. Yeah. Right now, I don't want. I'm not gonna focus too much.
Okay.
You haven't seen it, have you?
No, but I don't know what it is. It seems like it might actually be good crack, but I'm just sitting there going, I watched some I watched some random shit already. Like, so
Right,
sell it to
okay,
me.
Well, no. I'm gonna change your mind with a few things. I'll just say it. I'll say it now. Just
War-
go and watch it. Don't hesitate. Go and see it.
Okay.
You've got your reasons for why. I didn't even know Alec Baldwin was in it. Now it fucking makes sense. That voice.
Yeah.
You're so funny, man. So yeah, there's some good lines in there. You're not gonna waste your time watching it, and
Is it quick?
You get invested. It's quick as well, and you get invested in it quite quickly too. So yeah, it's a good laugh. Like yeah.
So okay, so we've got a scale of a few animated ones that have come onto your radar. Animated, my sense, I haven't really come across anything really of note. The only other thing animated wise I would have been picking up would have been finishing off things like F is for Family and even like Rick and Morty and all too recently. But F is for Family, definitely. If anyone else hasn't already noticed, fucking fantastic, especially because you can't get enough of Bill Burr anytime. But the story, you can invest in the characters completely, and it's just
aren't they the most fucking realistic fucking animated characters you've ever seen?
It's just the most realistic.
Those personalities.
It's the most. It's Bill. It's just
cocaine addict next door. With
Owen Wilson,
boyfriend,
yeah.
And then you got the family of fucking rejects, and then you got the fucking the wimpy kid down the street. But
oh god,
those are
yeah.
the bits you've seen a lot, but fucking they take the time to go in depth throughout 2 seasons already.
Yes, I just love the wee stupid wee comebacks to come every so often. Like fucking Kevin's coming down the stairs and he sees Frank sitting there. He's just like, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "What do you mean? I fucking own this house." He's just sitting there. It's just those wee quick wee fuck you. Like, I own this house. Like, I love those wee things that come into it.
Fuck you.
It reminds me of Terry Crews in Everybody Hates Chris, but turned up even more. Yeah.
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah.
So there's like a scale. There's like a scale. You see Homer. You see fucking Thing's dad. In Everybody Hates Chris, and then you see Bill Burr going apeshit.
It's like them fucking with the brakes off. You know what I mean?
Oh, definite. But
they give it loads. Like this is a great fucking way to tell like real life fucking stories and make it interesting. Like fucking what's the wife's name in this show?
Oh no, I can't remember.
Sorry for throwing it, but like she has to fucking make up concept.
I know it's Laura. I know it's Laura Dern that's doing the voice from Jurassic Park. She's doing the voice of the wife in it, but her struggle the whole way through it. You're sitting there going
her at that time in about the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah,
70s,
yeah.
Her competing in a very male-dominated work environment, and like anything she says is like it's an innuendo. You know what I mean? It's like fuck me. Can we just get on with this? Like
that was interesting to have that kind of perspective. That yes, they addressed that kind of thing, but then what they also did at the end was that the biggest enemy against her the whole way through was actually the other women that she was working with. It was just a weird way that was done.
Very realistic too.
Yeah, but it was just interesting that that's the way they ended it. But then again, like you see the other male characters, that it was just poking jabs. It wasn't really that she was actually holding her down.
The males quarrel, because that's quite true as well.
Oh god,
he has to go back and work for the airport, but it takes him to the last fucking episode. He takes him back. It's just like, I fucking need you. And it comes to a part where we only admit, men seem to only fucking need to admit it at the very end.
Yeah,
we've lost all fucking control. we have to say fucking sorry or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So you see that play out in the series. Eventually takes him back. So yeah, that kind of depicts how men can be sometimes. Like, and I wonder at that time period how things were. And that's the thing, though. We didn't grow up in the 70s.
No.
Before watching that, going, that seems quite fucking.
I think it's just universal, a lot of those kind of things, especially when you take a show about family stuff. There's going to be similar things that all families would have. And it's nice when you can talk to people and you hear some similar, even phrases that they're coming out with. But it's just it's the over the topness of it. But then it's relatable. Even I've heard people over the years. You've said it to people yourself, saying, "I put your fucking head through the wall."
I'll
And
put your fucking head through the wall.
Yeah.
Whenever he gets to that point
yeah.
where you're like, he fucking means it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really like. But he means that he's fucking serious. He's not going to put you through the wall.
No.
But he's fucking serious that he is fucked off.
There's a bit where he's talking to his
Oh,
other
brilliant.
son. There's a bit that he's talking to his son, and he's just sitting there going, "I'll put you through the wall." He goes, "There is no walls right outside." He goes, "Well, I'm going to build one and put you fucking."
I'll put you fucking through it.
Like he's not giving
It's
up.
like off the fly shit
Yeah.
that you would hear somewhere that like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, that's hilarious. Can't laugh right now.
Yeah,
Like that shit used to happen to us in our house growing up, right?
yeah.
Our
Everyone would do
oldest
it.
brother, Adrian, was a fucking. He'd come out with shit like that though. Like,
Oh God, yes.
We didn't need to hear shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
But he would come out with it, and you'd be like, "Oh, fucking," you know what I mean?
It's. I think what it does, it zaps you back to a certain time in your life, and that's it's kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
other than Officer Family,
but here-
yeah, I
but
don't
like,
think there's any
as
other
you're saying
animated.
that looked like the 70s. How about the fucking Stranger Things looking really very similar to the fucking 80s when you watch it?
I don't mind the nostalgic trip a lot of people have with doing things like that, especially with focusing so much on all the wee tidbits of the 80s. But I think with a story like that, because it was the second season, I don't think they needed to keep doing that. Whereas they kind of turned it up even more. So for me,
They did
for me, I think it was
mind it so
distracting.
much.
Bec-
But I do understand. I see what you mean, though. Yeah.
But other than that, right, they built up a niche from the first series of certain things that you expect, certain beats, certain music, certain everything. So you're sitting there going, yeah, I can understand that, yeah, for a sequel and for the next run round, you turn those things up. That's what everyone's been talking about. But I'm glad they focused more on the style and the way they actually presented everything. Like the blacked out room, the void kind of thing for 11's like mini flashback kind of scenes. Those were kind of cool.
Yeah. And you can appreciate that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Tried to replicate, you've tried in that particular style of filming, and I suppose for your experience, it was lighting that was tricky to kind of capture as well. I was watching that scene going, how the fuck are they lighting that scene? Like, you know what I mean? And little things like that I appreciate it though. But sorry, go on.
No, that's you're absolutely right, and yeah, like I've done similar setups with scenes and all before, mainly because it is striking because it does let people question if like beyond going into the whole thing about lighting and stuff. It really does help set certain moods. So it was needed for certain scenes. Was great. There's some movies and some other things where they use certain styles just for the fact of using it. It doesn't really anchor this. It doesn't really anchor anything. It's just like, oh, we can actually do this. We're just going to film a scene like this. And
If we're
just
capable of doing it, we're going to do it, whether it means anything or not.
yeah. So at least they reserved it for certain things. That was good. Overall, again, it's just weird when you see kids
Talking that way
acting.
sometimes.
Yes, it's just the acting performance of it was really fucking good. Again, Steven, it was really fucking funny this season. And again, I just love Hopper. You can't go wrong with Hopper.
Oh,
at
Harper's
all.
great. Here, I was just trying to say something there.
Yep.
I don't like, the only thing I didn't like is some of the dialogue that the kids come out with sound like they're adults. Sometimes you're like,
Yeah.
how much of it sometimes I can let go, but some of it sounds like, hold on, they can't be that fucking on top of things. You know what I mean?
The kids
but I
said-
love it. I love
yeah.
the story. I love the plots where they go to, and there's reasons for it all. Completely get that. It's just sometimes that kind of throws up. But Harper and like the
Hopper.
there's a scene where I'm gonna say it. Sam from fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name in the fucking episode.
Right,
But
it's just not
right,
common.
I'm sorry, but as soon as I laid eyes on him,
That was a big distraction.
yeah,
though.
as soon as I laid eyes on him in that scene,
Have you
those
seen
two,
that meme of him?
yeah,
Have
no.
you seen that fucking thing? Oh,
What?
Have you seen it? No.
What is it?
It shows, you know, he's talking to I can't remember the kid who goes to the
Will?
Will.
Yeah.
He's in the Upside Down, or he's talking about that, and he's in the car with him. He's like, "You just tell that bully to go away, to leave me alone," something like that, something stupid like that. There's a meme going around that shows him going, just him looking over, going, You just tell him. What was it? You just tell Sauron Frodo to go away, to leave you alone. And it's just Frodo's face like
Staring
his
at
face
him.
is like, what?
No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'll have to check
I
that
need to
out.
find it. I'm getting off.
No.
I'm getting off it here. But
No, I think as soon as I saw he was in the show, I just knew he's going to be killed off. Something's going to happen to this man. He looks too happy in every scene. He's going to get brutally destroyed, and he was.
Yeah.
He
I
got-
think talk him out in the best way possible. You were like,
Like-
open the fucking door, get out. He's dead. He fucking deserved it.
Yeah,
It was
he
almost like, I'm
deserved
not sad. You fucking deserved it.
Yeah, you fucked up. Winona Ryder even looked at him just to go, and. No, fuck. Yeah,
He's like, "What? I got Harper.
you kept saying
Knew
it.
that was-
I have to
yeah.
correct you before someone else says it's Hopper. But anyways,
Hold on, before we move on though, have they got a fucking history? From what I can remember watching, did they have like a past where they went out with each other? Or
I think
something?
I think I heard something online that apparently they'd fucking said that them two from that show or somewhere else where they fucking hate each other. No, sorry, I mixed up. There's Braun and fucking not Daenerys. Braun and the other woman from fucking Game of Thrones. Apparently they were going out and they
Daenerys.
fucking hate each other. No, not Daenerys. Jamie Lannister, the other Lannister, the Queen.
Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. You said Braun. I'm thinking Braun Strowman.
No.
and Alexa Bliss.
No, apparently Braun
I know
and
you're talking about-
Braun and Thing from Game of Thrones were married and fucking hate each other. But they've got
right.
they have in their contract where they can't actually be in the same scene at all.
You joking?
No, seriously, apparently that's the case. So I think that's been mixed up with the Stranger Things one because I heard something about Hopper and her not getting along, and there's all this shit. I was like, what? It doesn't come across. It doesn't come across.
No, fuck here. If you're asking me, it's like she's like, oh, right.
Here's one.
Tying him up like, right.
Here's a different segue. Just while I'm on that idea about people with restraining orders and hating each other. Did you
I'm
ever?
saying now they're gonna fucking click on season 3. Like they're gonna be in bed somewhere. We'll see.
Bam, bam, first episode. No. Did you ever hear the stuff that happened around Scream 4 being made? About
Scream-
David Arquette and Courtney Cox after their
that
divorce.
was actually made, wasn't it? Scream
Yeah.
4.
Oh, yeah, it
Sorry,
was.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. You tell me.
It's fucking. They were really bad divorces under the time, and they just weren't getting on.
Right. Yeah.
They still had to make the
were
film.
married, weren't they?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
They
why were they?
they still had to make the film, and if you ever see any of the scenes with them in it, they're like 4 steps away from each other. They won't even like their shadows won't even touch, and they're just hating each other, looking at each other as if they go, "I fucking hate you."
I need
It's
to watch this
such
then.
it's such a
Fucking
shit.
hell.
No, it's a shit film. But skip to those scenes maybe, and you'll see what I mean.
I mean YouTube, like. I mean,
Yes,
don't
yes,
type in
yes.
Those things. Not fucking. I'm not watching that shit.
No, it's a load of shit. I think other than that, I haven't. As I said, we're going back here for any animated things before I forget. No, I think right now I'm ready to roll into any other trailers, and one in particular that definitely needs to be addressed here is. I think I sent you the link yesterday.
I'm just
Oh.
gonna double check.
What have you got?
Do you know what we've got? Do you want to talk about trailers, or do you want to talk about either one of 2 movies here?
I think we'll cover a few trailers here first, get them out of the way
Go ahead.
while I've got the
Get them
notes
out of
here.
the way.
Well, one of them in particular is just the creepiest fucking thing I've seen in a long time. I don't understand why it's really creepy, but that Christopher Robin trailer
Oh,
with
it
the
is,
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
What
it is
the
a little bit.
fuck? I think it's because its mouth doesn't open. It's just a line drawn to move, and
Yeah,
it's just
I think
creepy.
that's fucking weird and lazy, and I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. When I saw it, I was like,
No.
First of all, Paddington Bear 2 just came out. How about fucking giving this kind of story a fucking break? Do you know what I mean?
There's too many bears. Is that what it is?
Too many fucking bear movies. How about Ted? It comes to mind when I'm thinking. Do you know what? Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Don't do. I think they're just. It's another fucking. It's another intellectual property that's now going to be made into a
Right,
movie. That's
don't-
all it is.
Don't get me wrong. I will actually see this fucking film. I don't think I'll be
So
there.
I'm excited to watch it. For the one main reason I'm going to say, it actually fucking looks like Winnie the Pooh from the books.
Yeah, it does.
There you
It's
go.
creepy
Other
looking.
than that, it's a weird fucking movie to make.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
It's basically Ewan McGregor and Winnie the Pooh for an hour and a half, I'm guessing. So I'm going to go, right, let's see how weird it's going to be. Let's see what other characters. I want to see how fucking depressing Eeyore is in this. That's what I want to see. Just
I
that.
didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he's going to be. Tigger, holy fuck, Tigger's going to look. For anyone that hasn't already seen it, please check it out. I think it's only been out a few days, and we're already into March here. So for anyone that needs a back look here, Jesus,
Have you
it's
seen
just
that trailer
different.
For Ready Player One.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about it because I'm not much of a gamer at all.
It'll be a flop, but it looks good.
Yes.
You know, like the trailer's making it look good.
Yeah.
Betty just one of those shitty movies that they're dressing up.
Yeah.
One of the things, yeah, coming out of the movie, was shit.
Yeah. It looks like something that you'll probably only go to see it in 3D just to see how mad it's going to look.
Yeah, I mean, there's that micro machine shit going on. If you noticed in the trailer, where
Yeah.
they've got little cars and shit. I seen a trailer for Red Sparrow recently, and I did mention it as one of our kind of like keep an eye out for movies. But I don't know if it's going to be as good as it's making itself out to be. What do you think?
I haven't come across it. What's the gist of it?
Well, it's just that she's playing this like Russian infiltrator. That's like she's like I don't know if she's a double agent or what the fuck. But from the trailer, it looks like she's like not who she seems to be, and she's a bit of a fucking a dodgy character. I wonder how much of it is I don't know if this is based again on true stories or not. These are the kind of movies I particularly enjoy watching, but I just think it's its own thing. But no, I don't know much about it. It's piqued my interest a little bit. Although I will say though, is it Jennifer Lawrence, the main character that's advertised, the woman from Hunger Games?
Lawrence. Yeah.
Hunger Games. Yeah. But she's been kind of. It seems like this is a bit of a weird pick for her. But she's been featured quite a lot lately as someone who's against a lot of the. I hate bringing up all the political stuff at the moment, but there's a lot of stuff to do with the sexual harassment in Hollywood, and she's one of the voices against it all. Like kind of like being the one to stand up against all the shit that's going on, and she's very heavily featured in this. With a lot of the scenes in it, a lot of sexualized. It's a very sexualized movie, so she's getting. Not that I say there's nothing wrong with that. She's doing her job as an actress. You know what I mean? Making a movie. It's interesting how she's been heavily featured, defending that kind of stuff, and then there's this movie that's come out. People are bashing it because of that, which I think is quite unfair. I just don't know what to make of this character, whether I'm going to be intrigued to watch it or not. It's just the trailer looks good, so I don't know. While we're talking about trailers, it just seems to be like, oh, there's Red Sparrow. It's nearly out now. In fact, is it out in the US? I think it's out in the US now, but we haven't got it yet.
No, we usually get a delay of a week or two for over here. So there's something else on the radar and to keep a nosy out for. So hopefully we'll have more updates on something like this maybe in the next podcast, actually, as it gets closer time for us.
Yeah, because it's going to be, I think a lot of people are going to like it. I don't know what to make of it. I just thought I'd get it out there. I'll mention it that it's, Red Sparrow is on Red Acres,
It's on our radar here. Well, there's two here. I was going to say one. There's two that go just left in my trailers thing here. Both definitely something I wanted to get talking about. The first one to get cleared up, I think, is out on April 10th, is the Andre the Giant HBO documentary. Have you seen the trailer that's been put out for it?
No.
It's probably one of the best trailers for a documentary seen in a long time. It's really well done. And for anyone that's a fan of wrestling or anything along those lines that we usually review and put out on, I mean, I covered the Ric Flair 30 for 30 in one of the 5-minute rant sections. And this looks like it's even going to be even better for some reason, because there's a wee bit more mystique about Andre the Giant, but it seems to be more behind the scenes stuff that we haven't known about.
Him that needs to be told.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
He's a very well known figure, in pop culture and stuff. And
oh, definitely.
So yeah, a story about him needs to be put out there. In fact, as you mentioned that, I don't mean to jump in there, but I watched the majority of the 30 for 30. I haven't watched all of it yet. Unbelievable, brilliant. If it's anything like that, I'm looking forward to it. HBO, you were saying, yeah.
HBO, and it's not even just focused on the wrestling. It's focused on him as like doing the acting and everything. It's just talking about him as a person. And there's a lot of the usual heads. I mean, you've got people like Vince McMahon even coming on to talk in it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he probably will at some stage. Yeah.
I think Billy Crystal's is involved as well, somewhere, and a few other lads from
his movies,
movie stuff. So that's kind of cool. So that's out April 10th, which is just after WrestleMania for us for looking into things. So it's on our doorstep here, and the main one that's been put down, which I nearly thought we were going to have a dedicated podcast 1.2, which is the Fallen Kingdom trailer that's been out.
Oh shit. It is fucking amazing.
I've talked to a few people. I don't give a fuck if everything has been shown to me in that trailer. That was worth it. That trailer, that whole build up for
As
it.
a trailer, it's amazing. Fucking hell! Like here,
This is the
best
this
moment in the trailer is that for me is the fucking bit
hand.
where
The hand.
It opens with that fucker like sneaking into the fucking room with his big fucking badass claws about to rip the fuck out of some poor kid. Like, if that doesn't creep you out a little bit, you know what I mean? Then it's probably not for you. This movie, pass it on. Like.
Well, this is like the 5th Jurassic Park film, if you think about it that way, and straight away you're excited about something that's 5 movies in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, beyond the things like getting Ian Malcolm in it, and there's wee Easter eggs already. Not really Easter eggs, you can see them, like, but there's wee nods still to the other films. Like there's wee bits where you can see some of the old vehicles in the background still. I'm interested to see where it'll go on it. I was talking to Niall Messi Doodle here earlier, and we actually are talking about doing a designated podcast just to Jurassic Park, the franchise, in time for Fallen Kingdom coming out, because there's a lot of different theories about it and about the other films and about the film, especially.
Niall has got some interesting stories, stuff that he's looked into. So I want to hear him talk about that. Yeah.
Well, we want to cover stuff like, because me and our good friend Jason for years have been following as many articles and stuff about the failed Jurassic Park 4 that was supposed to be coming out, and so we know that kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to talk over that. But when it comes to Fallen Kingdom here, this is something that it seems to have creeped up again so soon, and it seems to be certain things that they wanted to do more of. Like there's more animatronics in this. There's even more like dinosaurs that haven't been on film yet, and some that have been on before. So apparently it said it's going to be the most amount of dinosaurs in it for any of the films. And it just sounds something, just when I hear myself saying all this out loud, it's just weird to get this involved and this excited about a film about dinosaurs. It's just one of those kind of weird things, like you just take the piss out of yourself a bit, but it's so well done.
Yeah. And if it's going to be dinosaurs, then I think we can understand that.
We could do it. Well, other people have dragons on a fucking shite, so or Pacific
you're just
or robots or whatever.
Who's a big follower of Thrones?
Yeah,
shade. No, I know
it's all right, but
no, because you're justifying why you like it. So like, no, you don't need to. It's done it well with the trailer. I'm going to tell you that much, because it did get me going. I was like, if they're able to, get that fucking across, man. Yeah, it's fucked up. I think I've only seen it twice now, so I don't know it as well as you do, but I'm psyched to watch it. I tell you what, though, that part where that T-Rex near fucking caught him at the end there.
Yeah, in the truck.
So you're seeing, but like they're treating it better. From what I can see, it just looks like everything's just nicely done. So I don't know what to make of it. It might not be as good as as some of the earlier movies, but I don't give a fuck. Like you said, having as many or the most amount of fucking dinosaurs, animatronics. But that's the shit that I want to see. I want to see that the stuff they used to do that worked, that fucking scared the shit out of me, which we'll leave for that podcast.
Yes.
I'm actually looking forward to now that you mentioned it.
Exactly, because I'm holding back. I've got a load of notes sitting here scribbled. I'm sitting there going, no, I'm going to hold them all for that, because it'll get more in depth, and I want to be able to see how Niall, especially with some of the wee theories he's had from some of the films come out, and it's just noted. Yeah,
as well. The stuff you guys know about already would be enough to hold a podcast on.
Definitely, there'll be one coming up soon enough for that, because we did a makeshift logo and stuff and all as well for it already, so we're ahead of ourselves. We just need to plan a day that suits everyone to record, and there'll be more information on Instagram and stuff for that anyway.
Spare no expense.
Spare no fucking expenses, right? So I think that comes to an end for our covering movies and trailers, and not a wee bit for TV here. So what have you got? No,
you're gonna hit me.
I'm not going for it.
As far as movies, I did a reaction for Instagram for Star Wars Last Jedi, and I said, you're going to hate me because we're going to bring into that big conversation. It was all right. It was decent. It was a good action movie. People shat on it. I can see the reasons why, but don't be shitting on that because it was just someone's choice of directing that scene. It was over and done with. It wasn't even too fucking long. She wasn't out there forever, right? Fucking just leave her alone.
Is this the scene, the fucking Princess Leia floating in space thing?
I understand people's frustrations. I get it, yes. But guess what? There's no fucking laser signs out there in space either.
Not even just that, man. You're talking about a film. You're talking about Star Wars. Just remind people, you're talking about fucking Star Wars. It's bullshit. It's fake. It's just nothing. It's pew pew in space. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's just Fucking hell! How many of those
No,
films
but
are there now?
anyway, it was just
9.
like, I couldn't believe the amount of hate it got. I watched it. Yeah, I was surprised because I didn't watch the main big trailers that came out. I saw that one trailer. I was like, yeah, I'm excited for it. I'll watch it. So it's all right. I'm actually glad I could see it. But you know what? I was almost not going to watch it because of everyone's reactions. So fuck you bastards for near putting me off it. It was all right. Like, Jesus Christ, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, I think it took me about nearly a month and a half after it came out to actually sit down and watch it. It's like, right, maybe I'll watch it. I'm going to have to wait for the DVD. You're not going to put me off. I already ranted 5 minutes about it. So,
no, yeah. But just for the like, it was just people saying, "Don't watch it, don't watch it, don't watch it."
No,
all right, like.
I addressed a few of those points in the rant anyway, and
go and watch the rant video and then come back to this and this.
Yeah, come back to this moment, unpause and come back. No, do yourself a favor.
Yeah, I guess.
No, that's something else as well because that format's going out for everyone. So there'll be more 5-minute rants on the way soon enough from a few other heads in Red Acre too. Would be nice.
Just I will at some stage.
Because apparently we have Donal who has a counter 5-minute rant about Last Jedi, and I want to hear what we've got wrong from Donal. So I want to hear where that comes up.
Oh right, okay. Yeah.
No, do you have anything?
You can tell me off for whatever I've said so far, but I think it's pretty decent. I think it's fucking Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
Right, like
it's who like I don't know. What did they expect out of a Star Wars film? It's not fucking Citizen Kane, or I don't know. It's no
small margin of people out there that did want that kind of movie. You weren't fucking getting it.
It's no Indian in the cupboard.
That Snoke scene where he got killed. It was gonna fucking happen. You could see it happening. Get over it. It was done. Right. Oh fuck no. We're getting into it. We'll save it. But it was all right.
The only thing I didn't care really about was the whole horse racing place thing. Do you know what I mean? Horse racing? There was it looked like horse racing, but it wasn't horses, obviously. There's like whole casino place and all those kind of scenes. It was kind of like, right,
there
okay.
Things that didn't really need to exactly see because the anticipation for the movie, The Last Jedi, we're focused on this story. Oh yeah, we're gonna tell this story in the meantime. Oh yeah, we're back to The Last Jedi story. Go back to this, but.
Yeah, about an hour.
Anyway, back to The Last Jedi, the story about the last. It's like fucking stay on fucking. If you want to argue about the movie, they should have stayed more on it being about The Last Jedi without giving away much about the story.
And it was the title does make sense. The title doesn't make any sense because then at the end of it, they're not the last ones either, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It goes through the order. It's the end of the order, I suppose. It should have come up with a different fucking title. I don't know. Where'd you go to? Connor's just fucking disappeared.
Connor disappeared to check the microphone. No, again, it's Star Wars.
Connor, stay where you are. Just do the whole show from there.
No, maneuver it.
Back.
No, I'm comfortable where I am now. Dick. No.
Sorry.
Do you know what? It's very hard to get. Do you know? It's very easy to bash something like that.
I didn't notice.
That's all right. No. It's one of those kind of films where you could easily rip the fuck out of it. Unless you're really into it, you can't really defend it because you just go, it's just a fucking
I know that's in my
sci-fi movie.
It's just a Star Wars movie. It's all right. It's good crack. Just it is what it is.
Yeah, it's the same way when people talk about a load of the Marvel ones. I'm like, it's only a fucking Marvel film. Calm your fucking tits. It's not supposed to be the best fucking thing ever. My God. Whoa. What was that? Me, myself, and Irene. Yeah, fucking class. All right, well, have you anything else to interrupt me with now? TV?
No,
not too much. No. No, the only thing notable of TV the last week I watched was The Punisher, and I know you have to get caught up on it, so we'll hold that one off for another one.
I enjoyed the first episode. At least I got watching the first one.
There's 13.
I know.
That's nothing. Get back and watch the rest. Don't be a dick.
I know. I'll watch one at least tonight. So
apologise for anyone listening. You've let them down. They wanted to hear what you said.
Sorry, but I got all excited for The Punisher after watching the TV trailer. I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh,
yeah, Metallica's one.
Man, that was tight as fuck.
That's what spurred me into making that Metal Gear Solid Frayed Ends of Sanity music video, which is on the Decky play-by-play playlist. That's a hard thing to say. Decky play-by-play playlist. I don't even need to fucking say it ever again. That's difficult. Let me change that up. But no, so fucking that trailer got me into watching it, and it was just a little bit difficult sticking to it. Oh, that's my pizza.
fucking cue a pizza break. It was not aware.
Tell us why you like the Punisher so far, Connor. While I answer that.
Because, right, going back over some of the other different versions of the films that have been out over the years with like Dolph Lundgren and fucking Thomas Jane and Ray Stevens, and so watch those, enjoyed those, always loved the character, more into that than it would be for fucking things like Captain America and all that. Oh, just fucking happy-go-lucky shite. So seeing this done so earnestly and again suckered in, like Declan said, with using the Metallica fucking trailer, that's how you get my attention. If it's done fucking well, just don't put Metallica in front of everything. I'm not gonna pay attention to that, but
I wasn't paying attention either, so whatever you said, I completely agree with you.
that's great. No, Declan went to get his pizza like a greedy fucker, so I filled everyone in on why I like the Punisher. So bring up to now watching the show, very, very, very enjoyable. It's brutal at times, like you'd expect, but it hasn't put at not one point was it put off wanting to watch the next episode. It was just I needed more time because they are long episodes, so you're watching like 3 at a time and having to wait the next day, and so that's just getting in that routine. Because I said there's 13 episodes.
It's hard for me to binge on series at the moment with just the way my schedule is, but I can't wait to fucking watch the rest of it.
Yeah, it's see the whole again. What I kept doing was like I'd watch about 3 or 4 episodes a day, and then the next day before I watch the next ones, I'd watch the trailer again, get all hyped up again.
Confession, or is this just your routine?
This is just my routine. It's no, I'm not. I don't have to confess anything. I'm not ashamed. But no, I'll basically every time I'm taking a break from an episode, I'll go back and watch the trailer, get re-hyped, and then fucking get right in. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, I would definitely get people to take it out. The only other TV thing maybe I would note would be the Dirty Money series that was
you
up.
mentioned that. Yeah, you said that.
Now,
good. What is it? Tell me a wee bit.
The issue I have is I want to get into a wee bit more detail on another podcast about it because there's underlining thing that I noted the whole way through.
No, it's no problem. I'll get on to that with you. I want to see what that's like so we can both talk about it. I can tell you what though, I did like how they treated the Punisher, and like it actually does fucking for the first 20 minutes you're like, oh my god, he's out of he fell out of the comic book and he's just got into his van, he's fucked off, he's like boom. And he's given the reason why he killed him. He would, like, you know, he had enough time to get up, but kill him as well.
The only distracting thing was once I realised how much the actor looked like Ken Shamrock. It just confused me so much.
On WhatsApp, you funny bastard.
You funny man, yes.
Funny guy.
Funny guy. No.
From a clown, do you? Huh?
Sometimes that ruins watching it.
Here, I tell you what. So you've seen a lot of fucking death scenes in it so far. But I've only seen that this morning, baby. That's ridiculous. Pippa's showing Connor something that we got posted today.
Very nice.
Something stupid. No, it's not very nice. It's not what you read it.
All right.
But here, no, fucking. What was I saying? Yeah, one of the worst ways to fucking die in a movie is thinking of someone's. Oh my god! Fucking the worst death I've seen so far is the guy getting killed in the bathroom. Thinking someone thinks you're having anal sex in there when no, you're actually being fucking suffocated and choked to death. Save me. No, they're having sex in there.
Just right over, this is episode 1 of The Punisher that mentioned.
So I've only seen the first episode, and so far it was the fucking weirdest death so far.
No, it's
there's. He says to him like, I wrote it down somewhere. It was that fucking weird. Whatever he said to him, he said like, "Oh, get a room," something like that. There, it's just like, oh, it's the worst way to die ever.
Jeez, I didn't realize it hurt you that much. Fucking thinking about it, but all right.
No, it was just like poor man's dying there, and you were just laughing at him. Like, go and fucking at him. Like, no, he's dead.
Just
that poor man. I don't know what he was involved in.
Have you convinced?
He's the last guy he was fighting or something.
Right. I'm just for a second I thought you were convinced this was a documentary or something like that. And that's not real. He's all right. You know.
Oh, no, that'd be a horrible way to go out though. Like, just fucking someone thinking that you're having sex in there. Like, no, I'm getting killed.
Help. No.
Help me.
No, otherwise TV, I focused a lot more the last few while on movies, and again because we balance out on other shows. So just listening to more of the music for our own shows as well. So no, I don't have anything else really on my list actually of not a sense of value, but
TV shows. I was going to mention
got for TV?
Altered Carbon. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, give it a little watch. It's got some good themes, some sci-fi. If you like your anime and like Ghost in the Shell kind of stuff, it's got that feel throughout it. Or sorry, not just Ghost in the Shell. Where they got inspiration from, Blade Runner. So it's got that kind of feel throughout it. So give it a watch. It's interesting when they deal with the idea of identity. So yeah, fucking, I can't credit what they're doing so far enough. They've got me hooked. So Altered Carbon, it's on Netflix. What was the one you mentioned, Connor?
For Netflix, Dirty Money.
Dirty Money. So there's 2 series you guys now know to check out, and we highly recommend them. So that's the thing with TV shows as late. I did mention Stranger Things, but there hasn't been a lot I've been binging on or catching up on.
No.
I think I've been very much distracted, and for a good change with the movies, because there's been a time period there where I don't know whether it be the writer's strike or whatever the effect was, but just didn't see enough good movies. We were just it seemed to be spoiled with great TV shows lately. I think it's eventually the pendulum swings the other way. I think we're getting a lot of good movies lately. So I don't know really what we're looking forward to in this year yet, other than Jurassic Fallen Kingdoms come out this year. We're looking forward to that. Again, for me, I'm very heavily involved in watching DC movies, the rebirth of the cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm invested in the DC movies that come out. But at the moment, there isn't anything but Aquaman that's coming out this year. As far as I know, Justice League Part 2, that's not till the following year. So I'm not psyched for that kind of experience. So I'm hoping there's some good movies that are going to come out that it's going to drag me out, you know?
Yeah. To fill you in between. That's the...
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's been interesting catching... Man, I have fucking loved watching these movies lately. It's just been interesting that I can actually... Me and you can actually agree that we've actually watched something that I don't have to say to you, go and watch that, and then we'll follow it up. So no, that's cool, man.
It's been handier, and the only real homework I'm going to take away from here, besides Coco and Ferdinand, and there's something else you mentioned there, I will definitely be fucking watching The Indian on the Cupboard this evening.
Right, okay.
Just as it's come to my mind.
No, thank you for sharing your list, because I got watching movies that I didn't think I was going to watch, like Jumanji, and others. You mentioned Logan and stuff. I'm going to need to watch the noir version, the black and white one. Sounds cool.
I would definitely suggest it for anyone that's really into that kind of... Yeah, it's very, sometimes it can be a bit tacky when people suggest that, but when I went to see it in the cinema, one of the first things I thought was, fuck, this would be really cool in black and white. And again, as a fan of film and stuff, I've done this before with some films, just edit them, put them in black and white to see what it would look like. So at least this was a different way. It wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't like, oh my God, this changed the way I see the film or anything. It just already heightened what was there.
In a different way. I bet you appreciated certain scenes when it's told in black and white.
Yes.
It triggers a different emotion in you. You're kind of like, I'm feeling sadder now for this reason.
Not even that. Right? That's one way. The one thing that it did to the film, which was weird, is because of how brutal some of the scenes were, in black and white, you're not seeing the blood. So in one sense, you could sit there and you can watch more of those scenes. You can probably rewatch the black and white one more often than you can watch the color version, I would say, because of that, because you're not getting distracted by how much blood and stuff is going on in it. But
fair point, yeah.
I just think that's especially if you want to rewatch a film. I think that would definitely be the way forward if there's an option. Like apparently it's a bonus feature on the Blu-ray or something to have that, the noir version. So I would love to see it in full Blu-ray and HD to see what's like.
Fucking hell, man! I'm gonna watch it in the noir version for sure. It's just been interesting though. You've mentioned a couple of those movies, Arrival, which I told you I was gonna watch.
Yeah,
but I just haven't seen yet. But it's interesting how my opinions changed from the very first one we did, and I've actually seen Rick and Morty since then. I fucking love it. I changed my opinion on it. I remember mentioning we're talking remakes, and I said, I'm probably not even gonna be interested. Fucking turns out it was a great little movie. I actually liked it, and so yeah, there's a lot of things that surprise me. Even as a moviegoer, I'm probably going to find stuff that I probably wouldn't be really inclined to watch. And I'm telling you now, the movies that we're talking about here, we're actually taking the time to mention them because we think it's worth your while. We don't want you being distracted with other movies that might have a better, cast, or it might have something that's going for it, but it just doesn't give you everything you want in a good movie. So I think at least our picks are we're at least we're putting them over because for our own reasons, but I think they're worth your time and at least your money as well.
Definitely, and I would say there's a few highlights that we went through. So I would just have a small list here, basically, before we go for everyone. Some homework, basically, for this one. I would definitely recommend, for you especially, anyway, to finish off The Punisher when you get the chance, for something a wee bit different. I would definitely say, especially, just get pumped. Watch that trailer every fucking time, and you'll love it. Dirty Money would be something for someone to look into, because each episode it's a different documentary and a different kind of level of basically crime. At this point, there was the whole VW emissions fucking scandal in the first episode. It goes right through to that pharmaceutical company. I can't remember the name of them, Valencia or whatever the fuck it was, raising the price of pills from like whatever $1 to like fucking $700 a pill, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's when I say it's not enjoyable, as in the topic isn't really that enjoyable the whole way through. So you're watching it by going, "You fucking arseholes," the whole way through it.
Oh yeah.
But it's a great documentary.
I suppose it's tapping into a different emotion. But that's great though if it does that. Here, I tell you what, you mentioned, was it Sneaky Pete? Is that a
Sneaky
comedy?
Pete? I would say it's comedy at times. It's very similar to another show that was out called Banshee a couple of years ago, where this guy, I can't remember the setup really for Banshee, was a guy ends up taking the identity of a cop in this local town. And he's got people helping him out. He's trying to fucking kill someone, but he's pretending to be the cop the whole way through it. So this Sneaky Pete is different. Well, similar but different. This guy gets out of prison and he owes money to someone, and to hide out away from him, he takes the identity of someone that he shared a prison cell with. He goes, lives with that guy's family. That because they haven't seen this guy in years, so he takes the identity and pretends to be him, and he's trying.
So he's basically the identity thief.
Yeah, and he's trying to steal. He's trying to work out a way to get money off them, but he's trying to help the family. The family are like Dog the Bounty Hunter, fucking bond salesman, but not that OTT. But they're dealing bonds, so he's trying to take their money. Eventually, I haven't finished all of the season. I know the new season's out now. I think already in America, but I think I'm only 4 or 5 episodes off the end, so I'll try and finish it off for the next one.
You're
not far off, but I would definitely invest. It's the guy from Ted, and he was in Friends as Phoebe's brother. That's all I can really remember him out of. But he's in it. He's really fucking funny, actually. But he's always got that creepy fucking face. I don't know what it is.
He does, but he does that well.
He does it well.
He just does that particularly well.
No, I would definitely suggest people to get watching it. I don't see it going completely OTT with fucking mad plot twist or anything. I think it's very easy arc to follow the whole way through it. So yeah, that's I'm just going to tick that off as I go along here. It's just like a homework for anyone listening and for ourselves here. We've touched on some of the animated ones, some of the Oscar season nods, and then even some random nostalgic ones there, like Indian in the Cupboard and fucking.
I can't believe that going out in this one.
But I think the most positive one out of the entire list here for anyone I would definitely suggest is for someone to watch the Disaster Artist. Definitely say that's the one thing I think.
Actually, do you know what?
Yep.
You're right.
I would say.
Go for it. And actually, would you, if you're interested in watching a movie, I'd advise you guys watch the critics review, the Nostalgic Critics on YouTube. Watch his review, then go and watch the movie The Room, and then watch Disaster.
Not in the same night.
What I'm trying to say to you is just how you can experience it differently, but you don't need to watch any of that stuff to watch this movie. It certainly helps, and I tell you what, our experience watching it was very valuable, knowing that backstory.
True. It
made
it heightened
more
it.
enjoyable.
But I know,
It actually, if I didn't know what the hell was going on, I don't think I would have fucking kept watching.
See, I think luckily enough that the way they did the film was good, that anyone that doesn't directly know anything about it can still watch it and enjoy it, because you're going to watch Franco chewing the fucking scenery the whole way through it.
He was brilliant. He was fucking really funny in it. I tell you what though, here's how I would say it. If I didn't know the events of The Room, it would be a pick, but I don't know if it'd be my definite one to go with. I would have picked I, Tonya, but yeah, for my reasons, I know about these events, so I fucking love Disaster Artist for those reasons.
Usually with Red Acre, we usually pick 3 as a main thing. We did something recently with the top 3 albums that are out at the minute for people listening to. So I think now 3 films we need to pick for people to listen to. So we've got to watch and not listen to. So we've got I, Tonya, we've got Disaster Artist, and I definitely think 3 Billboards would definitely be the next one. It's a fight between 3 Billboards and Shape of Water, but
Shape of Water, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just something about the 3
I'd say
billboards.
it just depends on what mood you're in at that particular time. You could be easily swayed. However, if I was to put my critic's hat on, I think the better movie would probably be Shape of Water.
Okay, well, tell you what, because of
Hard one, even for what I said at the beginning, I'm just thinking more about the story that they were telling. And even though it took me a lot longer to watch it, probably pick it over Billboards, I think. Go on, I will.
Okay, we'll tell you what, we'll do 4. It'll be different this time. We'll put off 4 because I'm not giving up on 3 billboards. But Richard,
I'm not either.
Richard Jenkins in fucking Shape of Water, definitely. I would definitely tell people to pay more attention to him in it than the fucking big creature and the woman feeding him eggs.
For supporting cast.
Oh, definitely. There's a great supporting cast. And a lot of these films, actually, most of these films depicts the supporting cast doing the big part.
Good that you mentioned too. I actually thoroughly enjoyed the collaboration. So yeah, no, there was not a lot of things that popped me off. I can say one animated movie that threw me off and Pippa as well. We were both trying to watch Monster House. Don't fucking watch it. We were 10 minutes in. Everyone speaks with an English accent and they're from fucking Manhattan. It doesn't make sense. Don't watch it.
That does not make sense. Just no bother.
But apparently Monster House is good, so I don't know.
You don't know.
Oh, sorry, it's Monster Family. This
Monster
fucking movie is a
Family.
load of dirt. Don't watch.
Right. Well,
10 minutes in, I was fucking shocked, confused. Turn this off. Shut that door.
I think you've got your echo on for some reason there. Right, before you get a blow of fucking aneurysm, we'll round off here. Let people know we've given them the top 4 of our picks so far to go through this. I would definitely say Coco was on the list there for people looking to me
best
included.
animated movie so far I've seen this year, and from last year I don't know, but I'm gonna throw in Coco as my favorite animated movie.
Okay, well that's going to be on my list now to check out before the next one, just so I can let people know what I thought of it. And then if it's rant worthy, I'll do a 5-minute rant on it too. So I think there's the homework for us for now, and all we need to do now is let people know where to check everything out. That's us.
I think there's the good thing about that is we are on several social media platforms, not also Facebook and YouTube, but Instagram, and we're also on Twitter. I didn't actually realize that until recently.
Yeah, I know. Same.
We have a presence on Twitter too. But is our podcast still on Mixcloud? Could you?
No, I wouldn't. No,
discontinued now.
Everything's YouTube now. It's far simpler. It's far more user friendly. Yeah. No, I enjoy more. It just leaves there's a comment section for people to leave the nastiest thing they can think of or the nicest thing they can think of for us. We have the wee spot. Go nasty if you want. The nastier it is, the more we'll read it out. We've got the Spotify playlist on the go again as well. It's kind of like a wee introductory guide for people that maybe don't know certain bands. We've got top 10 lists for people, underrated songs by famous artists, and we've got some top 10 essential songs. So we did things like top 10 Motorhead, underrated, top 10 essential Motorhead that you'll have to listen to, things like that. And we're always looking at suggestions for that. And we might actually do one. The link this will be movie soundtracks. Do a few lists for that.
I've been speaking about recently, so I have a couple of things I can show you, but at least a playlist.
Cool. And would anyone else listen still through this? Any other suggestions for things we can add on to those lists, or anything else that you think we've maybe breezed over on this podcast so far? Anything else we haven't covered before, or any suggestion for TV shows or TV shows in particular is something that we want to get a wee bit more into. It's just, for me, it's so easy to watch a one-off film for an hour or two, to get invested and have to rewatch several sittings to finish off a show. But I'm not scared. Give me something decent to watch. I've got Sneaky Pete to finish off. You've got The Punisher to finish off.
I've got Narcos to finish as well. That is
Narcos is definitely something to look in to finish off. But for everyone else still following us, you can get us on Instagram, you can get us on Facebook, YouTube especially as well.
Because again, it's something that we're trying to stress, but we're not trying to wreck your head with. But it'd be great for your support if you can subscribe to Red Acre on YouTube. It's just the best way to get our content, and it seems to be something we're putting our focus on as of late, and for good reasons too, because there's a lot of content there.
And we've a lot more planned because we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary, so we have stuff to do for next month, definitely, which will be, anyone listening, which will be April 2018 will be 1 year now. So not get into all that now, but we'll do a wee round up in the next one to show off some highlights of what we've covered this year, and then what else we're going to look forward to going on. So,
Exactly.
yeah, you got plenty of ways to follow us and leave us remarks what you want us to cover and what you think we covered badly. I actually would like to know that. So, no, thanks very much for getting this together, and thanks for I think you took the lead in this one, which is kind of good.
Well, I had to at some stage before this year was out. And it's a little bit difficult for people listening because we're doing this via Hangout, and I'm in Liverpool, where you're in Warren Point in Northern Ireland. So this is tricky to have taken the lead today. But no, it's been really cool. And guys, thank you for listening. It's always a pleasure to get on the Red Acre podcast. This has been Decky Play by Play. You've been listening to our sit down podcast interview with Conor Maguire. And it's
Not
been
that formal.
more or less like an interview. But no, it's been great. So guys, thank you for listening. There's plenty more to come from. And adios. I'll see you later.